Good afternoon or good evening, wherever in the world you might be. My name is Jack Branch. This is the Healthy Wealth Show. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday, helping people navigate the valleys of life as it relates to financial issues, health, as well as spiritual matters. And, it's right before Mardi Gras in New Orleans. An interesting time. I'm actually surprised this young man isn't having already any fun, but it is Thursday. If it was tomorrow, I probably wouldn't be able to get, and I'm really excited today. I do this show trying to spotlight people that are really making a difference. And, in terms of real estate in the financial realm, probably one of the biggest investments that or assets that a person can actually have in their lives. And today you're like, man, why would you be interviewing a realtor? Well, meet this guy because he's a lot different. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce a new friend of mine, actually, Chris Cazenave. How you doing, Meatball?
I'm doing fantastic. Jack, how are you today?
I'm doing good, man.
I am live in front of one of my beautiful listings. It's 3916 Lake Villa in Metairie, listed at 780. Absolutely beautiful, brand new construction. And I'll take y'all for a quick walkthrough, and we can walk in and see it. The Gaglianos did this construction, and they've done a ton of great work. So it's one of my new listings, one of many. But we'll walk in. I'll set up in here in the kitchen, and we can sit down and have a little talk.
Sounds good.
But you can see beautiful 20-foot ceilings as you walk in, open concept with a beautiful kitchen. One that I'm very proud of, just like all of them,
Well, that's new construction there then?
Brand new construction in Metairie, in the heart of Metairie, over 3,000 square feet of living space, and he spared no expense in this build out. So it's something I'm super proud of to put on the market, just like I am with every listing that we take. Because this is a crazy market, but it's fun when it's good.
Real estate's kind of an interesting sphere like the financial realm that I'm in. There's a lot of folks that do it. And so why is it that, you're doing so much different? I know. And let me kind of give you some back history before he goes and answers that question. Well, my new daughter, I call her my bonus daughter because I hate stepdaughter. They're moving to Baton Rouge. And I've heard about this guy, Meatball. And man, I finally met him, and I was blown away. I was blown away, number one, by his energy. Number two, by his hard work and work ethic that a lot of people think millennials and Generation Z don't have. And number three, his creativity.
This house is so structurally sound, we might be having a little technical difficulty there getting internet. Is that better?
Yeah, much better. So give us a background on you.
Oh, absolutely. So I grew up in New Orleans, born and raised. I went to Jesuit High School, St. Clement of Rome first, Jesuit High School, and Tulane University. I got into real estate. Actually, I'd gone to culinary school first, opened up a restaurant making gelato. And the guy doubled my rent on me. So I said, look, I'm going to learn about this real estate thing. And I've used my connections. I mean, so many people. New Orleans is just a big town, and I've used connections to really start something great. But outside of that, with my marketing and whatnot, we do it a little different, at Second Line Realty. I actually, I'm known as Meatball in the city. And my slogan is one big plus of the Meatball going up, and tons of different ways to market to really reach a wide range of audience,
Right. So what kind of people are you representing? Yep. I mean, you looking for buyers, sellers? I mean, what kind of stuff, can you bring
I do both.
to the table?
I'm one of the only ones that in New Orleans that is doing commercial and residential real estate. We're putting a hotel in the market next week. So right now it's almost crazy with Mardi Gras. People are in party mode, but we're still we're still working hard over here, and that's what I love about second line real. We we're
I think I'm breaking up, bro.
small
Are you on Wi-Fi or data?
real estate agents and brokers that yeah, it's working good. Can you hear me?
You're breaking up like every other word. Are you on a Wi-Fi or no?
I am not. I am actually on my phone service.
Yeah, I think if you
Um,
stay right there, you're good. So
we're good.
yeah,
Perfect.
I know
So
it's
I apologize for the technical difficulties. We're having some issues,
all
but
right.
yeah, it's just we're looking for buyers and sellers. With buyers, we do it a little different. I actually work with a lender, Leslie O'Neill. She does absolutely fantastic work. And one thing that we do different is when she pre-qualifies a buyer, they go completely through underwriting. So my buyers can make an offer to a seller with an 8 to 14-day close, which truly helps a lot because your sellers will take less money for a quick close. They get their money faster. So it helps me by negotiating. But everything we do, we try to do in the interest of our buyers and sellers
and there's
to get them the most money.
there's a lot of buyers that think it's going to cost them something to hire a realtor too. Why don't you clear up that noise?
Absolutely. It would be absolutely insane to work with to buy a property without an agent. We know the markets, we know the pricing, we know every single document that you're going to need to protect yourself. And as a buyer, the seller pays the commission. So you're literally getting our services for free at the end of the day. So it's something that every buyer should really consider. And I mean, I couldn't recommend it anymore, is to get with a licensed agent that's doing some serious volume. Last year, I mean, we're doing millions and millions of dollars in sales a year. And you got a lot of agents out there that get their license and
Part time or no time, right?
they're part time and no time.
Yeah, they might do a deal every so often, just to be in the social sphere and be a realtor, but
Sure. And when you're doing 2-3 deals a year, you're not in touch with the market. You're not seeing what's really going on and getting a feel for different areas. You see, at second line, like it's technology driven, which is a big priority for us. Every listing we do a 3D virtual tour. We go out of our way to go above and beyond to do the highest technical stuff to get the house sold.
so what's going on? So what's going on in the market? Uptown, Metairie, North Shore. What are you seeing? I mean, this market's been blowing and going for so long. I've been like, is it ever going to slow down?
Jack, it slowed down.
Yeah.
So what happened was we climbed. My sellers have huge expectations because they saw it raise so much so fast.
Yeah.
But in the past few months, buyers have said enough is enough. So the prices are slightly dropping.
Right.
But if you price the property right, it moves fast. So that's where we're at right now.
So what's kind of a good rule of thumb, if you will, if you're listing a house and you get 15 showings and no offers, Does that mean you're priced wrong?
It could.
Yeah.
It could. It could be you're getting the wrong buyers in there.
Yeah.
You're not marketing it properly. There's several factors that obviously come into it, but price in this market is the number one priority. So you really want to sit down with your agent and run comps, find out what's sold in the last as soon as possible. I mean, they say 6 months, but in this market, I want to see what's sold in the last few weeks and in just a couple of months.
Yeah.
So that I can give my seller a realistic expectation of numbers.
People get in their mind what they think something's worth, and I mean, if you look at eBay demonstrated, in fact, what something's worth because it goes out and puts in auction, and people are willing to pay what they're willing to pay, not what
it's worth what the market says it's worth.
Exactly. So I think sellers have kind of gotten fat and happy, excuse my French, but thinking that they're going to get X plus when the reality is they're going to get what they're going to get. So
right.
Talk to us.
And
go ahead.
The worst thing you could do is just let your property sit on the market because it does become stale. So the longer it's there, buyers start to think something's wrong with it as well. So if you're way overpriced, people are going to think, okay, either there's issues with the house, or obviously it's overpriced, and you're just never going to move it once it sits there for month after month after month. So it's good to get a fresh start and really get the market while it's hot at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know?
And so that was a tear down you're in front of, and they redid, the Gaglianos did?
It absolutely was, and they do absolutely fantastic work. I saw this house go up from scratch. They actually used Gulf Coast Bank to get the appraisal and everything set up to get this ball rolling, and it is absolutely I would put it as the best foundation in all of Jefferson Parish. This house is built to last. They actually put too much into it. But at the end of the day, somebody's going to get a house that they're very proud of.
They're going to love, yeah. And so
they're going to love.
And so why does your whole brokerage second line, which is a New Orleans term, have a better mousetrap? I saw the one of the things I noticed in looking at Kristen's house, which, by the way, I mean, before it even hit the market, he had a couple people looking. So that kind of show you the kind of work Chris will do. And so talk to him about about those 3D tours online and the technology that you mentioned that really differentiates you from maybe a mainstream name that they might know.
Well, Jack, here's the thing about New Orleans. I started my career at Ladder & Bloom, which is one of the biggest companies. I switched to a smaller broker about 4 years ago, and then made the transition to second line recently. And the difference with this company is we are super technology driven. We do the 3D virtual tour. I want my buyers in the house on their computer before they actually walk into the house. So everybody that's there already knows what they're coming to see. But what's even more important is with the technology, that's got to be there. But on top of that, I've made connections with every broker in the city that I've had the opportunity to meet, every closing companies and lenders. So we all work together and still use those old school tactics as well as the new technology. And when it all comes together, it works flawlessly. So the technology is important, and we're very, very good at that. But on top of that, we still have relationships with everybody in New Orleans to make it all work together.
It all comes down to relationship, doesn't it? I mean, we can use, I heard a guy say just the other day, I'm doing a lot of stuff in the automation world right now for my businesses. And although automation is good, it doesn't replace the relational factor capital as it relates to human interaction. So if we use automation or technology to help us, but don't let it replace us, that's really the key, I think, what you're saying.
Of course. And I want everybody in this neighborhood to see that this house is on the market. So we send out postcards saying just listed, postcards saying just sold. That's old school tactics, but they still work. And it works hand in hand with the modern stuff that we're adding to that as well. And we're on top of that. I mean, we're looking at markets in California and in Chicago and in LA.
I lost you, Meatball. You need to get back to that place in the driveway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. But when you got out on the road, I lost you a little bit.
Yeah, I'm walking. I talk with my hands.
I know. You're Italian. Of course you do, man. Right?
That's right. Very Italian. But we want to see what's working in different places, because in a competitive market like Los Angeles, they have to go so above and beyond to get business and to succeed as an agent. Here, it's a lot easier because it's less agents.
Yeah.
I mean, we have over 7,000 in the New Orleans area, which is a lot. But at the same time, it's not as competitive as some of those big cities. Yeah. So I like to see what they're doing.
And you may have 6,800 that aren't even full time, or whatever the numbers are,
Exactly. It's probably the statistics I always hear is 90% of the agents are making 10% of the money.
Yeah.
And 10% of the agents are making 90% of the money. So you got to really be out here hustling, and you'll find success. It's just every day's got to be. You got to be on the ball.
Well, and that's why I wanted to bring Chris Meatball on. Not only is he a realtor, but he's in the 610 Stomper, so he's fun.
Absolutely.
He's not going to be dancing because of some medical stuff that he had to do the last couple of days for the weekend for Mardi Gras. But I tell you, I have seen a lot of different realtors and people in this space, and he's really hungry. I think that's the real key is you have somebody young and hungry and willing to do whatever it takes to get eyeballs on your property. And the more eyeballs, the more probable somebody's going to say, I'm going to make an offer. And what's a big
and the higher the prices.
Yeah, what's a big mistake people get when somebody makes them an offer and they quote unquote get offended? I mean, it's just an offer. So how do you get your sellers not to get offended?
Well, you just got to sit down with every seller and you got to sit down with them and say, look, somebody's actually putting this house is listed at 780. If somebody came in with an offer at 650, it's too low at the end of the day. But why not counter every single offer? Come back with your best numbers. And if you can work a deal out, you can. If you can't, you can't. You just don't get offended because it's business at the end of the day. So you got to take the personal stuff out of it. And you have a real amount of money that's being put on the table. That's real money. So whether it's too low or just right, every offer should be reviewed and sat down and discussed, and then come up with a strategy with each seller or buyer to come up with a number that both sides are going to be happy with. And there's a lot of there's a lot of strategy that goes into it. I mean, if I have a seller, you want to get an offer on the table, even if you start low, you want to get an offer on the table because you'll be able to get a reaction from the other side. And that's when you can really find out where they're at, what their needs are, and it'll help you in a negotiation process. So put offers. When you want to put an offer in and work from there,
Well, why don't you post some of those 3D tours of stuff you're listing right now in the comments of this section? And folks, definitely the next time that you're looking to buy, you're looking to sell,
I certainly will.
You're looking to really move the needle with real estate, you need to check with this guy.
Jack, I'm losing you.
You there?
Yes. There we go.
I'm sorry. I said the next time you're really looking at real estate and you're trying to, really find somebody that's going to put your interest instead of just their own interest. Obviously, he wants to make some money, but the only way that he makes money is if you sell something. So,
Yep.
look this guy up. Definitely, he's not short of energy. And just because he might be a little younger than you or I in our demographic doesn't mean that he doesn't have what it takes. Because I'm seeing some stuff, and we've got a agent right now on a property with my wife that they're very established. They're good. I'm not saying they're not. However, sometimes I wonder. There's not a lot of updates. There's not a lot of communication, and so when there's not communication, people start to wonder. And I don't think that's the case you're going to have with Chris. And,
absolutely not. I want my buyers and sellers to know everything I know. So communication is like actually the number one thing that we offer, because I want everyone to know everything that I know in the transaction so that they can make the best decision for them and their family at the end of the day,
Meatball, I appreciate you. Keep out there hustling, brother. And look, stay tuned until next week. Tuesday, we're off. I'm not doing the Healthy Wealth Show because there's not anything healthy or wealthy going on Mardi Gras Day in New Orleans. If you've never
Happy Mardi Gras.
Yeah, you too, brother. And
Talk soon.
And yeah, definitely will. And definitely next Thursday, however, I'm going to talk to Mark Graham, who is a licensed counselor, and talk to the value of getting good counsel. So I hope you guys have an awesome weekend, and definitely you want to connect with Chris, because he is quite a gentleman and quite a character and quite hungry to make a real estate deal. Have a great day. God bless.